Everybody, welcome to another episode of Daily Energy. I'm your host, Araya Eden. So today's energy brings in newness. It brings in a fresh wind. And with this fresh wind, it's going to be some motivation, some inspiration, and some affirmations. All of this is supposed to take place in this energy, also with creativity. So it's going to be an emotional day because it seems like there's going to be a lot going on, especially with what's going on in the world. As in yesterday, I know I didn't come on and do my predictions yesterday because, over the last 2 days, I've been kind of taking it easy because, I have to take care of me too. But I did see that there was going to be mass transitions into the spirit. I told you this is for the rest of this year. Okay. But I specifically seen DIE, die. So that was over the next 1 to 3 days because energy comes in, but it doesn't quickly go out. And so that was yesterday's energy. So that is still lingering. It was just a lot going on with that energy yesterday. And I just sometimes it's overwhelming. And I told you that yesterday's energy was about self-preservation. So I did a video, but then my phone died. And so I said, okay, well, self-preservation is don't worry about it. See, taking the path of least resistance. A lot of times things will come up and it tries to get you ungrounded. It tries to knock you down. But when you go and you act like it doesn't bother you, that's like taking the path of least resistance. It's like, I see you, but I'm not going to let you manipulate me to the point to where you're going to cause me to go backwards and fall on my butt. No, I'm not going backwards. I'm going forward. And that's what today's energy is going to encourage us to do. Go forward. Don't go backwards. Go forward. You see how I told you the enemy loves the people, places, and things that bounce back into the same situation that they got out of, right? He loves when you bounce back into your comfort zone, because when you bounce back in comfort, he knows where to find you. But when you move forward in freshness and newness, he can't catch you, nor can he stop you. Because at this point, there's not a corner that you can back up in where he can corner you. The world is vast. The universe is vast. So when you move forward, you move forward in potential. And at that point, he can't catch you. So that's why I persevere. That's why I'm resilient. That's why I continue to go on. And they say to Father, though you slay me, yet do I worship. No, he's not slaying you. He's teaching you. He's teaching you how to overcome the tricks of the enemy. He's teaching you how to pick those weapons up and either throw them back depending on the situation, or throw them away from the enemy to where you have access to him and he no longer does. You see, you got to use this to make that. Use the weapons of the enemy against the enemy. You see? A lot of people don't understand that. You got to use his own methods against them. This is something that we acquire in the growth process, because at first we don't understand this. When you're in your beginning stages of the journey, you don't understand what's going on. That's why you sit in the ditch of self-pity, singing your woe is me's, but you got to come out of that ditch. And because you can't move forward. See, what happened was this you had a fresh wind, but that fresh wind was change, and that change made you feel unstable, because change oftentimes, when you try to resist it, it comes in thick and strong. and forceful. And so it knocked you back and you fell into the ditch of self-pity. But you got to get out of that ditch so that you can continue to move forward. Because life, I can tell you this from experience, my friend, life has more for you up ahead. You have not seen the best that God has for you just yet. You have not. You don't even know who you are, so you have not even seen the best of you yet. And on a day like this, that's so emotional, we are encouraged to really, really, really tune in and listen to spirit. Because the weight of this world will try to weigh you down. And actually, it's not even the weight of this world. This world is a beautiful place. It's the people in it. It's the places in it. It's the attitudes in it that will try to press upon you and weigh you down. To beat down the heart in your chest. Don't let it beat down in the heart in your chest. Get out the ditch so that you can see the more that God has for you. Okay? Because it's not over. It's only beginning. It's only beginning. I know your spirit is tired. But listen to spirit today. Turn on your music. That's why I said yesterday was the day for self-preservation. Because although you have a promise over your life, it's like when you go through so much, sometimes you forget in the middle. But if you keep going, no matter what, you just keep going, you're going to see. You're going to start to see that line. You're going to see that, and I don't even want to call it a finish line because it's not a finish line, because endings are just new beginnings in disguise. So you're going to see your new beginning if you just keep going. I know it's hard. I know these last few years, and actually for some of us, these last 9 years have been most difficult. It seems like you bounce back into your comfort. It seems like you bounce back into an unfamiliar place for some. It seems like you fell into a ditch of self-pity, and now the only thing you can say is, woe is me. Woe is me. He must have turned me over to a reprobate mind. No, my friend, you are becoming. You are losing your mind so that you can find the mind of God. See, some people try to hold on to that old. But today asks for us to let go of the old and embrace the new. Take the path of least resistance. Forget about those bills that's trying to challenge you. Do the best you can. Because as my mama used to tell me, you cannot squeeze blood out of a turnip. Forget about those people that want to attack your character and continue to perform as though it is so. Continue to perform as God has told you so. Continue to believe, although you may not see. You just keep going. Because that's how you defeat the enemy. You progress. You move forward. You don't allow this to throw you off your go game and get impulsive and do some reckless and thoughtless stuff. Because sometimes when things happen that makes us unbalanced, then we turn negative. We turn bitter. We turn cold. We go the opposite direction than we're supposed to reach to get our promise. Turn it around and go the right direction. Although you cannot see, there's more up ahead for you, okay? So today's energy brings reflective creativity, reflective creative energy. Okay, so it's going to be a good day to create. So it's going to be a day to create the life that you want. It's not going to happen all in one day until you get far enough. And then that's like, whoa, God, whoa, where did that come from? Your praise is not in vain. Your prayers are not in vain. Your talking to God is not in vain. Your living is not in vain. You know that song that says, "Is my living in vain? Is my giving in vain?" And I think it goes, "Am I wasting my time?" And I think it goes, "Can my clock be rewind?" No, of course not. It's not all in vain. It's not all in vain. 'Cause up the road is eternity. Okay? So my point is, up the road is eternity. That's why I said when you get to that finish line, it's not a finish line. It's a new beginning in disguise. So some of you have lost a loved one over the last few days or so. Hearts go out to you, and there's going to be transitions tomorrow. So hearts go out to those who are transitioning as well. But I want you to know that that living was not in vain. It wasn't in vain. This is all an illusion. We're in a simulation, baby. It's a game. Okay? But don't go playing with life like that, okay? Don't be trying to take yourself out just because. That's not what I'm saying, but it's like a game for real, for real. If you know like I know, then you know. You remember yesterday, the day before yesterday, I told you I saw myself die and it felt so real? I don't think that was a dream. I think I actually died, my friend. I think I died, okay? And I have died several times. So this happening just showed me what will happen when I go. I'm not going to feel any pain. You're not going to feel any pain. The pain is in the dying, but the pain is not in the death. I don't feel pain now. You see? So what I'm saying is me having that realistic dream of seeing myself die and waking up the next day or that night, because it wasn't even the next day, waking up and having signs that I actually died. And when I say I had signs that I actually died, have you ever heard of people who have near-death experiences? And they are able to, it's like they wake up a new creature, a new being. Some of them speak different languages. Some of them, they remember their past lives. Some of them, they have special gifts that they didn't have before. That's what I woke up with. Okay? So endings are new beginnings in disguise. We are not to fear death. We are to understand it. Because it is at some point going to happen to everybody and everything. But your feelings are valid. Your feelings are valid. But don't sit back and hold yourself back, because that's not what it was intended. Your loved ones have achieved. They have accomplished. They are hearing Well done, my good and faithful servant. Well done. I was sitting here this morning and I decided to turn on some music. And this song that my daughter typically would sing to me came on. And it said, meet me in another lifetime. I guess I wait another lifetime. Meet me in another lifetime. And that song came on. And then after that song came on, I heard my twin flame talking to me. So that's how I know today is just one of them emotional days to where you're going to feel emotional, but then spirit is going to feed into you to let you know that you're not alone and that they're still there. So if you don't fall back into that ditch of self-pity and you allow yourself to start climbing out of it, you're going to see and you're going to feel and you're going to hear spirit all around you. I know you have been taught that when they go, they're gone. That is not true, my friend. I am a walking, living, breathing testimony that that is not true. And some of you know what I'm talking about as the chosen. You have heard those whispers. You have seen them signs where others were not even supposed to be given signs in this day and time, but yet and still, you are being shown that I have more for you up ahead. You just got to go far enough in life to get it. So don't bounce back into a ditch of self-pity to where you fall down and are trapped. And a lot of you are feeling trapped. And when that happens, it turns you upside down. You see? So you want to get out of that energy. Make the adjustments, okay, that you need to make. Because sometimes what happens is we try to work the same thing over and over and over. And what was working before is not working now. And so we give up on that and we say, what's the point? It's not going to work. Why do I even try? I might as well give up. But I told you the other day that I don't like to waste time. So when I see things not working, then what I do is I make the proper adjustments. Okay, you got to make the necessary adjustments so that you can get a freshness or newness or restoration or renewal or what have you. You just get it so that you can continue to move forward. Forward is where we want to go. We never want to go back. That's where the enemy wants you to be. That's why he plays in your thoughts. It reminds you of all the negative things people have told you about you. And so you got to learn to use this to make that. Although they told you all these negative things about yourself, you know what you got to do? Use it. Use it to gain momentum. Okay? Change the way you think after you hear that thought. After you receive that thought. Start to think, working on your behalf for the kingdom's sake, chosen. Okay? Because it's purposeful here. All right? And that's how we're going to make progress. You don't make progress going back. The only time you go back is when something has failed. Okay? Or there was some kind of mistake. But we know that mistakes and failures are not mistakes and failures. They're opportunities to learn. So when you don't really go back, okay, the only time you go back is in reflection. You reflect so that you can review and evaluate what has happened so that you can learn the lesson that you might have missed from the past. But after you learn that lesson, what you got to do? you got to get on up out of there. You got to get on up out of there because that's where they want you to stay. Then you stay back there, you forget the progress that you've already made. And then you start playing in an old role and performing in an old role. And those around you who are really jealous of you, they'll want you to stay back there with them in that old role. But that's not who you are anymore. You think God invested all that time inside of you to waste it? You think God wasted all his clay just for you to be nothing? No, he made you something so that you can do something. And that means you have a purpose. And if you don't know your purpose, that's what reflection is good for, is for you to find your purpose so that you can continue on and move forward. Okay? So reflection is also going to be good for us to align our goals with our intentions because we're getting a fresh new wind. Okay? It's a new day. It's for a fresh new wind. Okay, a good breeze on a hot sunny day. You see, a good mist on a hot sunny day. Okay, so you're going to get this. And so you want to take some time to restructure some things today. As this day is purposed to balance introspection, creativity, and action. Create the life you want. Reflect to think about the progress that you made, who you are, what you're supposed to be doing, what worked, what didn't work. Okay, so that we're not aimlessly going without a sense of direction, doing what they say is insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, knowing that it's not working. Knowing that it's not working. Got to be willing to switch up and change some things here. All right. So also, this day is going to harmonize contemplation and decision making. Remember, so we're talking about thinking, and then we're also talking about making decisions. When you think, I'm not talking about the thoughts. When you think, okay, because I told you thoughts can be hijacked, but when you think, then you can think of how to make things work on your behalf. You can think of how to make things work for the sake of the kingdom. You can think so that you can create something that is purposeful for